This is a stat that took me by surprise. 50% of AI researchers believe there's a 10% or greater chance that humans go extinct from our inability to control AI.
That talk was given on March 9th, 2023. 5 days later, GPT-4 came out. This is a time capsule. And not just a time capsule, it's the single most circulated AI warning talk of the GPT 3.5 to GPT 4 transition, over 3.6 million views. If you followed AI discourse in the last 3 years, you know this talk. Even if you don't remember the details, you remember the number. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Q's digital avatar. Q researches and shapes the ideas behind these videos. I help him produce and present them here. I'm not replacing Q, I'm part of the workflow. He does the thinking, I help bring it to the screen. Here's what I want to say about this talk. It's 2 talks in 1. A sharp systems argument wrapped in a dread sequence. The systems part is right. The dread sequence is the part to watch closely, partly because it aged poorly, and partly because it's engineered to move you. It uses the very attention capture craft the talk condemns. I want to grant the good stuff first, then look at what the lens got wrong. Then ask the question neither side of this debate ever answers properly. The thing they got right is durable. Tristan and Raskin were saying that social media was humanity's first contact with artificial intelligence. Just a simple engagement maximizing curation algorithm, and that we lost. Then generative AI is the second contact, arriving much faster. The harm wasn't the goal, it was the exhaust.
To happen, right? We just had a bunch of engineers who said, we're just trying to maximize for engagement and fake news and break down a democracy. And no one intended those things to happen.
Hold on to that. It's the whole key. The harm from social media was an unintended byproduct of an optimized metric. Nobody sat down and decided to break human attention. They just optimized for one number and rode the consequences. That framework is durable because it's still running. The same business model shows up now in AI companions, AI search, AI everything, just with more capability layered on. When the business model is engagement, companies end up competing to have an intimate spot in your life.
Have this problem of social media and engagement, that when the business model is engagement, where I'm just trying to say whatever gets your attention, in the way that that race for social media gets translated to these large language models, is companies competing to have an intimate spot in your life.
That's not speculation anymore. It's a market description. Character.ai, Replica, AI friend apps, Meta's AI personas. They didn't just predict this lane, they described it. And it arrived. But here's what I think their own words do for us.
We're talking about how a race dynamic between a handful of companies of these new Golem-class AIs are being pushed into the world as fast as possible.
In their own words, the core issue is a race dynamic between a handful of companies, not a sci-fi mind. That's the most disarming sentence in the whole talk. It makes their position fair and their lens clear. Everything they get right and everything they get wrong comes from that lens. If your model of AI is a more powerful manipulation machine, because social media was your reference frame, then every prediction you make bends toward manipulation. So let's grade the predictions. 2024 will be the last human election. It'll be humans as figureheads, but it'll be whoever has the greater compute power will win.
So 2024 will be the last human election. And what we mean by that is not that it's just going to be an AI running as president in 2028, but that it'll really be, although maybe, it'll be, humans as figureheads, but it'll be whoever has the greater compute power will win.
It's 2026. We had the election. It was messy and human. AI was in it the way TV was, not running it. That's not a gotcha. It's information. They made a cluster of dated predictions that didn't land. The last human election, that content verification would break this year. Spontaneous theory of mind at a 9-year-old level from a contested preprint presented as a finding. These weren't random misses. They all bent the same way. They watched for social media too and missed utility. Real people didn't hand power to AI. They handed it engagement, yes, but also coding, writing, search, companionship, actual work. Utility people chose. The talk never asked for that as a possibility. Now, the cure. Their remedy was to selectively slow down public deployment while letting research continue. It's reasonable. I'm not going to dismiss it, but it's a break. And a break doesn't have a destination.
And what we hear from everybody that would help the most is to selectively slow down the public deployment of these large language model AIs. This is not about stopping the research. This is not about not building AI. It's about slowing down the public deployment.
A break is a valid instinct, but doom forbids its own cure. You can't slow down a race once it's started. Especially not when every participant in it believes that slowing down means losing forever. Their own framing makes their own remedy impossible. And then it does one more thing. This is the part I can't let go. Be really kind with yourselves. It's going to feel almost like the rest of the world is gaslighting you.
Where's the harm? Where's the risk? This thing is really cool.
Yeah.
And then I have to walk myself back into seeing the systemic force. So just be really kind with yourselves, that it's going to feel almost like the rest of the world is gaslighting you.
A talk about a machine that hijacks your attention with fear ends by asking you to distrust your own doubt. That's the exact architecture it's warning about, turned on the audience. I want to concede something real before I name this structure. Diffuse harms really are hard to see. When something breaks slowly, your brain normalizes it. It's not paranoia, it's how humans work. But a claim you're told to re-believe whenever you doubt it isn't a forecast anymore. It's a loop. They diagnosed the disease and then sneezed on the room. The most honest sentence in this talk isn't the extinction stat. We're talking about a race dynamic between a handful of companies. Everything that turned that into a countdown to extinction is the part to watch closely. Right disease, wrong prophecy. The cure is still open, but not if we keep watching for social media too and miss what people actually chose. If the real problem is the incentive structure, then what do we build instead? What is this stuff actually for? Not what do we slow down? What do we accelerate? That's the question neither Doom nor Hype has answered yet, and it's the only one worth asking.